to answer questions yet unasked. We develop new technologies every day and put them to use in record time in the high ground of space. No one can match us. The National Reconnaissance Office, the world leader in intelligence gathering. We are the NRO.
We are just over 2 minutes until liftoff. Falcon 9 is now moving into the final stages of the countdown. The vehicle remains in good health. About 2 minutes ago, the transporter erector began to retract away from Falcon 9, providing clearance for liftoff. In just a few seconds, liquid oxygen loading should finish loading on the second stage, and that'll wrap up propellant loading. At the T-minus 1 minute mark, Falcon 9 will be in startup. This means that the rocket's autonomous internal flight computers are now controlling the launch countdown. The range continues to be green for launch, and the weather still remains cloudy, but again, we are still 70% favorable for an on-time liftoff today. As a reminder, if we don't launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. And it does look like we have a hold to the launch countdown. Let's check in. We're going to check in with the team to see if we can get some more information on that. Give us a second. Hey, just checking in here. We are waiting for the teams to debrief, and we will report back when we get more information. Again, we had a hold to the countdown at the T-minus 1 minute and 53 second mark. Again, we're just waiting for the team to debrief. Hey, this is Andy from SpaceX again. We have reset the clock to T-minus 45 minutes. This doesn't necessarily mean that we will be recycling today, but we do have a launch window all the way until 12 p.m. Eastern. At this moment, we are still trying to understand exactly what happened, and so we're waiting for the team to debrief and gather more information. For now, we'll be sitting tight, and we'll try to update you as we get the information. It's looking like we are going to try to recycle today. Now keep in mind the purpose of the countdown is to help us catch potential issues prior to flight. Overall, the vehicle and payload appears to be in good health. The new T0 is still to be determined, but we do have a launch window that ends at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. The team is still trying to determine if we are going to recycle today and attempt another launch attempt. Again, keep in mind that the purpose of the countdown is to help us catch these types of issues prior to flight. Overall, again, the vehicle and payload appear to be in good health. T0 is not yet determined, but again, we do have a launch window that ends at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're just joining us, we did have a hold at T minus 1 minute and 53 seconds. We reset the countdown to T minus 45 minutes. At this point, the vehicle and payload both appear to be in good health. We are waiting on a decision on whether or not we will be making another recycle attempt and launch today. Our window ends at 12 p.m. Eastern time. If we don't launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow at the same time. Hey, just another quick update from myself. The team is still trying to determine whether or not we'll be able to recycle today. The vehicle and payload are in good condition. We're still trying to figure out the next T0. We do have until 12 p.m. Eastern time today, but and fingers crossed that we can recycle today and launch. If not, we do have a good shot tomorrow to send this NROL 108 satellite into orbit. If you're just joining us, this is the NROL 108 mission. We did have a hold to the countdown at the T-minus 1 minute and 53-second mark. At this moment, the team is trying to figure out if we can recycle and make another launch attempt in today's window. The window today ends around 12 p.m. at 12 p.m. Eastern time. If we can't recycle today, we do have a backup launch opportunity tomorrow. At this point, the vehicle and the payload are in good health, and I'll be giving you periodic updates. We should have more information in about 20 minutes, so I'll keep you guys updated, so stay tuned. Hey again, it's Andy from SpaceX. Just giving you guys another update. We are still trying to deliberate if we are going to make a recycle and launch attempt in today's launch window, which ends at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Again, if we can't launch today, we do have another opportunity tomorrow, which is another good chance to launch the NROL 108 satellite. We'll continue to update you as we get more information, so stay tuned, and we'll update you as soon as we can. As you can see, we have held the countdown. We held it at the T-minus 1 minute and 53 second mark and reset it to the T-minus 45 minute mark. The vehicle and payload are in good health. The team's right now trying to understand what exactly caused the hold and determine if we can recycle and attempt launch again later today. If we are unable to launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow at the same time. We should have a better update on whether or not we will be able to launch in about 15 to 20 minutes. Until then, I'll be periodically updating you about the vehicle and how we're doing. If you're just joining us for the NROL 108 webcast, the team is still trying to determine if we're going to be able to recycle and attempt to launch again. The vehicle and payload are in good health, so you don't have to worry there. The new T0 is still trying to be determined, but we do have a launch window that ends at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, if we can't launch today, we do have another opportunity tomorrow around the same time. We'll periodically update you as information becomes available. Hang tight, and the vehicle is definitely in good health, and payload is also in good health. As you can see, we have held the countdown for the NROL 108 mission. The team is right now trying to determine if we can recycle and relaunch today. We haven't determined a new T0 yet, but both the vehicle and payload are healthy. If we can't launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow. We should have more information in the next 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll try to update you as soon as we can. If you're just joining us for the NROL 108 webcast, we are currently holding the countdown. During the countdown, pressure was slightly high in the upper stage liquid oxygen tank, which caused the abort. Now keep in mind, the purpose of the countdown is to help us catch these potential issues prior to flight. The vehicle and payload are in good health. Right now, the teams are evaluating whether or not we'll be able to recycle the launch attempt today. We should have a better idea of whether or not we'll be able to recycle today in the next 20 or 30 minutes. Again, if we are not able to attempt another launch today, we do have another launch opportunity tomorrow for the same time frame. Thank you for hanging in there with us, but this is the nature of the launch business, so sit back and stick with us. Welcome back to the NROL 108 webcast. We are currently holding the countdown. We had an abort at T-minus 1 minute and 53 seconds and reset it to T-minus 45 minutes. During the countdown, pressure was slightly high in the upper stage liquid oxygen tanks, which caused the abort. We do these types of checks to make sure we catch any and all potential issues prior to flight. Both the vehicle and the payload are continuing to be in good health. The team right now is evaluating whether or not we'll be able to make another launch attempt today. We should have a better idea of that in the next 15 to 25 minutes. If we can't launch today, we do have another backup opportunity tomorrow in the same time frame. Again, thanks for sticking with us for everyone that is tuned in right now, and we'll update you as soon as we can. Thanks for continuing to join us for the NROL 108 webcast. We are currently in the middle of a hold on the countdown. What you're seeing on screen is a view of Falcon 9 sitting on pad 39A in Florida. During the countdown, we saw some slightly higher pressure readings from the second stage LOX tank, which caused the hold to the countdown. Now keep in mind, we do try to catch these potential issues during the countdown prior to flight to make sure that we are absolutely spot on for a successful liftoff. The vehicle and payload are in good health. The teams right now are determining if we are able to recycle and make another launch attempt today. We should have a better idea of whether or not we'll be able to do this in the next 20 or 10 to 20 minutes. If we're unable to launch today, we do have another opportunity tomorrow, Friday, in the same time frame. Thanks for sticking with us, and I'll give you an update in a few more minutes. Hey again, just checking in with everyone. This is the NROL 108 launch webcast. During the countdown, pressure was slightly higher in the upper stage liquid oxygen tank, which caused a hold to the countdown. Again, the purpose of the countdown is to help us catch these types of potential issues. Both Falcon 9 and the payload are in good health. The team is still evaluating whether or not we'll be able to recycle and attempt another launch today. Our window ends at 12 p.m. Eastern. So we should have more information in the next 10 to 15 minutes. If we can't launch today, we do have another opportunity tomorrow in the same time frame. Again, thanks for hanging in there with us, and sit back and we'll update you as soon as we can.
The LD on countdown.net, we are going to stand down on our recycle attempt today. Launch control, you're good to abort recycle launch at this time. We will be setting up for a 24-hour recycle.
If you've been following along, we had an abort on the countdown at the T-minus 1 minute and 53 second mark. At that time, sensors detected slightly high pressures in the upper stage liquid oxygen tanks, which caused the abort. Now keep in mind, the purpose of the countdown is to help us catch potential issues prior to flight. There are 1,000 ways launch can go wrong and only one way it can go right. And given that, we are overly cautious on the ground, and if the team or vehicle sees anything that looks even slightly off, they'll stop the countdown. The vehicle and the payload are in good health. The team gave it their best effort to recycle within the remaining launch window, but it just wasn't in the cards for us today. Again, the vehicle and the payload are in good health, but this will end our launch attempt for today. The next earliest launch opportunity is tomorrow, Friday, December 18th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. As always, thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you on the next attempt tomorrow.
To prepare Falcon 9 B10 to 58 for the port entry. Falcon 9 is returning from the 8 from the X for the port entry. Falcon 9 mission is returning from the 8 from the X for the port entry. Falcon 9 mission is returning from the 8 from the X for the port entry. Falcon 9 mission is returning from the
8. Do you know what just happened, Michael? Sorry, folks. There was some audioception. The SpaceX stream ended, and you want to know what the stream it started auto-playing was?
Oh, no.
Ours. So when the SpaceX stream ended, it automatically started sending people to this stream. And so I was playing the SpaceX mission control audio back into our headsets here, and all of a sudden SpaceX mission control audio became our audio, and so you started hearing Michael. I'm like, wait, what's happening? It took me a couple loops to figure out what was just happening there. But
I heard the echo, and I just tried to keep going like nothing was happening, because I figured it might have been on my end.
Right.
Like a browser source had opened or something. So I just tried to roll with it, but it's hard to talk when you're hearing yourself on a loop back.
So before I do anything more with my camera here at the press site, I want to show you all something.
Okay.
So remember how I said that crawler transporter with the former shuttle launch pad was moving? And this was the view we started at, and it was right there where those 4 telephone poles are, right? And it's not there anymore.
Oh, it's gone.
Because while we've been waiting for Falcon 9, it has been driving. And it is now right here, about to head on.
Wow.
Yeah, and it is about to head on over to the vehicle assembly building, which you can see Right there. So it's been dutifully making its little way down the crawlerway all this time, doing its test. And I just thought that's a cool thing to show that progress was made on the crawler.
Yeah, guys, if you don't know, or folks, if you don't know what we're looking at on Chris's camera there, that was the NASA crawler. That's the crawler that actually carried the Apollo rockets out to the launch pads and then the space shuttle out to the launch pads. And they are testing it. It looks like it has an awful lot of concrete and steel stacked on top. Some of those big pieces you see on top are not normally there. And I think what they're doing is testing out the load on it to make sure that it's going to be up to snuff for the plans they have for the future. So
Indeed.
that is what's happening on Chris's camera.
And now I'll go back to the Falcon 9.
And yeah, thank you. Sorry, I was talking about it. I saw you started to point back over. But that's been happening the entire time here, over there on the crawlerway right next to Chris. And then, like Michael was saying, on Fleet Cam on the left-hand side, it looks like we were watching Go Quest. There's Go Quest, just passing the pergola. It is going out to support that booster return. Do we know, Michael, how far away that booster is from port right now?
I think it's still quite a bit out, so it's probably... I'll have to check again. I haven't checked in the last 30 minutes, but I would guess it's probably an hour or two away at least.
Still an hour or two away. So not the type of situation where we might leave this broadcast live to wait for the booster come back in. But if you're interested in seeing that booster come back in, you can hang out on Fleet Cam, the other stream that we've been running 24/7. I'll get the link for Fleet Cam here so y'all can hop over that way. I do believe that's going to start coming to the end of our live coverage here, right, y'all?
For NROL, yes.
Yes, I believe we'll wrap this up and come back tomorrow, so hope to see you guys back here tomorrow for another launch attempt, assuming that SpaceX does remedy their Stage 2 issue in time. But we will be live again tomorrow morning, hopefully.
All right. And I am going to put that link to Fleet Cam into chat. Fleet Cam has been live since October 19th. It's 24/7 views of primarily the SpaceX operations at Port Canaveral. You can see the fairing catchers, the capsule recovery ships, the boosters coming into port, the drone ships, all the operations there as they fold up the landing legs and move the boosters over to the port and then lay it down and drive it away on the transporter. All that is live 24/7 over on the NASA Spaceflight Fleet Cam, which is what you're getting that live view from Port Canaveral of Go Quest there on the left-hand side. Of course, Fleet Cam's over there at Rusty's Seafood and Oyster Bar. We've worked with them. They gave us a spot. They gave us some electricity, and they've gave us the permission to put Fleet Cam over there so that we can bring you this sorts of coverage with what's going on at the port. But expecting later today a return to port of that booster that just launched that Sirius satellite radio SXM7 the other day. And we will have Fleet Cam live for that, so you can see the booster come back in and all the processing that occurs in Port Canaveral is the right way to say that. Also, if you head over to Fleet Cam, maybe give it an upvote. It's at 3.9 thousand upvotes right now. I'd like to get it to 4,000 if nobody's been over to Fleet Cam before. But, just a little project of ours there as we watch what's going on at the port.
Right? Can never hurt, right, Doss?
Yeah, it can't hurt, But Chris, you're probably getting to the point where you're going to need to pack that camera up.
When we're ready. I mean, when we have 3-hour windows, I plan to be here for the whole 3 hours.
For the whole 3 hours. Gotcha.
You have to, yeah.
All right, Thomas, Michael, concur.
Yeah.
Wrap up the commentary stream here.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, folks, speed run these super chats. Enzia Razi is a membership. There you go, Enzia. John Fannerstill, thank you for being a member. Jack, it just says Jack is a new membership. Charlie Linser, a new membership as well. Theosove Games joining the club too. Thank you all so much for the support. And then the super chats I'll run through the end at the very end of the stream here. Dan, I think people will be suspicious of an alligator swimming around in salt water. Maybe a croc cam instead. But crocodiles aren't indigenous to... Anyways.
Yes, they are. Yes, they
Wait.
are. Yes, they are.
Crocodiles?
Florida is the only place in the world where alligators and crocodiles coexist naturally in the world. Yep.
Really?
Yep, the American alligator is in South Florida and has made its way up to Brevard County. I think they've been seen naturally. But yes, we do have crocodiles naturally in Florida. Yes.
I'll be darned. I thought that was not the case. They must have been like released like the anacondas or something like that, right?
Nope. Naturally.
No?
Naturally coexisting.
Really?
Yep.
All right. Well, there we go. I've learned something today.
The
Apparently,
helicopter and fleet camp, sorry.
oh, the
One of the
helicopter.
range helicopters flew over.
Oh, we just saw it fly by 39A actually. So there you go. You
Yep.
can work out the timing.
In any event, Dan, thank you so much for the support. I'm just trying to empty these. I'm not getting a ton of the big questions or anything like that. Chris von Scheinitz, thank you so much for the $9.99. Says, where do I go to become a member? There should be a join button right below the video, and if you click join, that's where you can join as a member. It's like a monthly fee. There's a couple of different levels. You get different things based on what level you join, but that should be that join button right there below the video if you're watching on browser. Jurwa says, last super chat, great job, see you tomorrow. Jurwa, thank you so much for the continued support. Moldy Space Industries as well. Audio went 10 by 10 for a moment. Yeah, it did, Moldy. Ken Tono says, shout out to the boys of COT. Let's get this rocket up in the air tomorrow, maybe. Tomorrow is the time that we'll do that, hopefully. We'll continue to wait for SpaceX to give us official word on that, but appreciate the support there, Ken. And then Babinski UT saying, has the NRO ever scheduled a payload for one type of launch, had an on-pad scrub, then changed the payload to another type of launch vehicle? That's almost like NRO saying, this rocket ain't launching our payload, we're moving to a different rocket. I think with everything that's involved, that's not a thing that would normally happen.
Not once they've gotten to a launch attempt, no.
Right.
No, at that point, you built the satellite specifically to go on a specific vehicle at that point. But they can change before they get to that. Oh, it's doing it. The water truck. Yes.
Oh, the water truck.
Yes. So why do we care about a water truck? This is oddly one of the health and safety requirements when you move the crawler transporters. They pulverize the Tennessee River rock underneath them, so they have to spray down the rocks to minimize the dust that can get kicked up and that people then inhale, because as the crawler moves down the crawlerway, there are people watching it and walking with it and monitoring every